Okay, this video, as the title says, you know, I think times have come to where the end game is starting to play out. Okay, as you all know, for years, and a lot of people follow this channel because I talked about something I call the global war on humanity, which affects everybody on the planet. The idea of globalization is an old one. It's just never been able to be done, okay? And there's a lot of reasons why over the past 100 some odd years they couldn't do it. Several organizations like United Nations and that have been set up. I think the one before that was League of Nations. Several attempts to start a global government. And I've been reporting on the war in the Ukraine. Now, the war in the Ukraine, you don't know what to believe. Okay, there's so many things coming from different places, and everyone's caught up in war fever in this country, okay? And basically the way the scenario is playing out is every problem in the world is being blamed on Vladimir Putin and Russia as a country or a people. Everything is there. Okay. And now, in the U.S., if any of you went and seen how the gas prices are spiking, things are not going to get good here quick. If you watch Tucker Carlson, Locke Moons made a video here a little bit, a little while ago today. And it don't look good, because if oil prices and inflation hit this country right now, life here is going to be unpleasant, okay? So let's kind of recap it. I said that, when this health thing came out, okay, and the things they put in place, okay, was a form of warfare. Disinformation is a form of warfare. Not being able to know who's doing what or whatever, okay, is a weapon. It's warfare. So what's happened, and we watched it, like it started in Canada, okay? Protests, they came down, said this and that. And what was done is, and this is where, it's starting to become clear, is the freezing of the bank accounts, economic attacks is what it is. Because think about it. I say something or I make a video disagreeing with the general consensus of what the government is putting out or the mainstream media. And then next thing you know, I go to use my debit card or write a check. I can't access any funds or nothing. I'm locked out. So unless you got a pile of cash in the house that you can live the rest of your life on, you're in a world of shit. And now we're seeing the economic thing, how it's going to happen in the U.S. is with inflation. And inflation is going to run rampant because as the price of oil goes up, the price of everything in this country is going to go up. Okay? No invasion, no bombs, no nothing. We're just going to get screwed. Okay? Like he said, America's middle class is now poorer. Okay? And the general consensus is with the war, they're using the war in a narrative to set the mindset. And, it's fear, it's misinformation, and now the general consensus is if you complain about the inflation or don't pay higher prices, you are anti-patriotic. You're going against things. So now we got that narrative. Unless I agree and say, you know what, I don't care if oil goes $200, $300 a barrel. I will pay, I will go to work, and I will not complain. Okay, that's the thing. So, what am I trying to say? Let's look at things, let's take a step back, forget about everything. And I mean, I know all you people out there, the comments that I got. Yes, there is a war on. Yes, innocent people are dying. That happens in every war. Okay? And, people go, well, they invaded a free and democratic country. I suggest if you have that opinion, you go look in the mirror and ask yourself, are we living here in the United States in a free, democratically elected country? Okay. Canada is a good example. You've seen what happened up there. This truckers movement, because of health issues or whatever, to protest, just evaporated because all of our health issues just disappeared like a day before the war started. So let's take a step back and look at this from a different perspective. We know all these governments and all these politicians and that and corporations are all interconnected globally, be it for energy or whatever, And now we're doing this, if we sanction Russia, he's got China supporting him and all these other countries and this and that. And they all were in it together. What happens if this is all just staged like a giant play? Okay, there are rumors that President Putin wasn't going to run the next time he come up for election, like he wanted to retire. He's almost 70 years old. And you go, what do you mean by that? Well, let's look at another really nice guy in history. Idi Amin Dada, okay, who ran this country, Uganda. And you guys are saying Putin's a killer, Putin's a murderer. Idi Amin took anyone who disagreed with him, hacked them to pieces, and flung them in a lake. I heard a story, how true it is, I don't know, and I heard this because this was big back in the 70s with a lot of people from Great Britain, because it used to be a British colony. They said that during one of his meetings with his government or chancellors or whatever, ministers, the financial minister gave him a report saying that the country's economy wasn't coming out. It was losing, it was in trouble. So he had the guy dragged outside, beheaded. They cut off his head and literally put it on a plate or platter and kept it in a refrigerator or freezer. They kept it in a freezer. And every time he had a cabinet meeting, somebody would go and pull this guy's head out of the freezer and set it where he would sit at the table. And he would stand there and scream at the guy's head for forever, just screaming, yelling, this and that. Finished his cabinet meeting, and they put the guy's head back in the freezer. If that's not insane or nuts, I don't know what is. So I guess in the end, they had to stop them. Things just got way out of control. So I forget how it was. One country sent an army over there from, it was an African nation, invaded, this and that, and he disappeared. Now, if you used to read Soldier Fortune magazine back in them days, he just drops off the face of the earth. Okay, mysteriously, Idi Amin vanishes, and he was right up there. He was being looked for international war crimes, crimes against humanity, this and that, and he made the whole Nazi party look lame. So he just disappears. So Soldier Fortune used to run an ad that wanted, if you bring him in dead or alive, I guess, I can't quite remember, it was $100,000 or something in gold Cougarans, a reward. They posted a reward, and they ran that for quite some time. And all those years ago, nobody, they say nobody knew where he went. But everybody forgot about Uganda. Soldier Fortune magazine, well, very few magazines survive. And all that's in the past, and all of a sudden one day on the news, I think it was online, I found it, it announced that Idi Amin passed away. Okay? He died of a heart attack. And come to find out, this big mystery, like Jimmy Hoffa, Bigfoot and all this, where the hell did Idi Amin go, and everyone forgot about him. The whole time he was living somewhere in Saudi Arabia in a marble house with 4 of his wives. So that's how Idi Amin retired from being a universally hunted man in the world, evil. So I don't see where Vladimir Putin can't do the same thing. And maybe this is all part of a drawn-out drama that's being played upon the world. And in the end, he takes the blame for everything and just, poof, vanishes. And years later, we'll hear of him dying of a heart attack or something somewhere. Timbuktu or something. Who knows? Well, the thing is, it's like Tucker Carlson pointed out, everybody's blaming this war for the increase in oil prices and all this other stuff. And our government, and all of our government, not just the left or whatever you want to call it, not just one group of them, all of them are working together to do this. And what they're doing, I believe, is they're enacting the next phase in a global war by destroying. This war in the Ukraine is going to end up destroying the world economy. And I guess the people call it the Great Reset. Okay? This is supposedly, after a certain point, they're supposed to change the whole way the world functions. Many people have said that capitalism is gone. And there's only going to be a ruling class, and everybody's going to be just impoverished. How close we are to that, or it looks like, and the thing that's scaring me is, irregardless of what the outcome or what is really going on in the Ukraine, what these people are doing and all these sanctions and that are all having to deal with banks, money, transferring money. I believe this is the phase where the world economy becomes crushed. And as far as us here in the United States, it's like Tucker Carlson said, it's going to be on the middle class. If you make less than $100,000 a year, that's just to use the gauge, you're screwed. Because I see it now. With the price of gasoline, I can't drive up to the rifle range. Just going into town to run errands over the course of the week, back and forth, 15-minute, 20-minute drive to go into Greensboro and do things or talk to people and come back. I'm just going to run short of money out of my monthly budget to be able to do that. I'm going to have to watch where I go and make sure that, schedule everything to where if I make a trip, I'm stopping at several places and coming back. More of this, let me go here. Then you go, hey, you know what, I forgot something. Let me go to this other store. No, anymore. And then again, if any of you are holding any kind of debt, which just about every American does, buy something on a credit card or whatever. Now, if the interest rates on the variables are going to start doubling and tripling, you're going to find out, you're going to be caught in a bind big time. And you're going to see people start failing, financially, going bankrupt. Also, there's the wonderful thing is there's all these other really nice people that kind of exist and don't really do much, that when money gets tight, you also see the crime rate raise dramatically, and violent crime, okay? And we've already had problems with police forces. I know up in New York they were telling me that they set it up to where the state can't afford to imprison people. So short of murder, they go down, they're processed, given a warning, and released. So that means if somebody comes over and hits you in the face or beats the hell out of you, robs you, and even if they catch the guy, he's not going to go to jail. Okay? You know, I don't know, how true it is, but I remember they passed that legislation up there, and a lot of the people from back home are complaining about it. And crime in the inner city areas has risen, So has the taxes and all that other shit. But I don't know, it don't look good. Okay, and like Log Cabin Loon said, you really can't do anything, because when you sit here and go, hey, this is unjust, and I need to either protest or, I need to say, hey, this is wrong. But when you go to the people who make the laws and control everything and tell them that, they're not going to do anything, because they're the ones creating this situation, and what's going on is what they want. So there is no, protesting or, trying to fight back. How do you fight back when all of a sudden you wake up one day, your money's worthless? What are you going to do? Not spend anything? You got nothing to spend. I don't know. But there's so many variables, and there's so much stuff going on that nobody understands, or none of it makes sense. I guess the only thing we can do is just hang tight and hope, hope that things get better. It's about the only thing you can do, But I don't know. Right now it don't look too good. All right? So thanks, and stay tuned.